All right, algoriters, it's Tuesday, a very unusual night for us, but we're back. Celebrity Court of Public Opinion. I'm your judge, Al Reynolds, and your host. And I just want to apologize for Friday. A little bit too much holiday cheer for me, but welcome to Celebrity Court, where we break down the biggest headlines in Hollywood, deliver the facts, and uncover the legal lessons for us all. I'm your host, like I said, Al Reynolds, and today we've got 5 blockbuster cases that are shaking up the entertainment world. All right, so before we jump into them, let me welcome our legal beagles. First up, but not his last time, we have Jason Weiss, attorney Jason Weiss from Florida. Jason Weiss, welcome back to Court of Public Opinion.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Now, Jason, you are new, and I didn't do this Friday, but we asked that you have a emoji that represents you. So when you think about Jason Weiss and the type of attorney that he is, what emoji would you like for our algoriters to use in the chat?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I guess something that to protect. I try to protect others.
So like a shield.
A shield works.
A shield emoji. All right, algoriters, you heard him. Let's put a shield emoji to welcome Jason Weiss to the panel of Legal Beagles. Next up, we have the fire emoji for that fiery civil attorney, Shaurn Thomas. Shaurn Thomas, welcome back to Celebrity Court of Public Opinion.
Hi, Your Honor. Glad to be back. I wish we were going to have some Friday night fun, though. You were a good time on Friday.
Oh, my gosh. It was way too much. And last but not least, lawyer humorist, the clown emoji. Everyone, please welcome back Counselor Shaurn Carter. Shaurn Carter, welcome back to Celebrity Court of Public Opinion.
I am so happy to be here. And let me tell you why. It's the first time in my whole adult life that I'm happy to be this Shaurn Carter. I always wanted to be the other Shaurn Carter, but now I'm happy to be this one today. This is a good Shaurn Carter today.
After today's Celebrity Court of Public Opinion, right now, but hey, you still want that $1 billion account, right? You still want that $1 billion check?
Maybe not if I got to go through all this. Now I just keep my little money over here and free.
Oh, that's funny. All right, everybody, let's jump right into it. First up on the docket, Lizzo's labor law cases dropped. Finally, let's talk about Lizzo. Allegations of workplace misconduct have been dropped in Europe due to weaker labor laws compared to the U.S. But is this really a victory? Attorney Turner, talk to me about how is this possible? Isn't her company U.S.-based? Her employees were hired U.S.-based. So why and how are European labor protection laws playing a larger role than the U.S. labor laws?
So there's a lot to unpack. I'm not sure if I would describe it that they're playing a larger role, but they do have influence. And so a lot of international companies will have, have a little bit of frog in my throat tonight. A lot of international companies will have policies that cover what is supposed to happen in different jurisdictions. The ones who are committed to doing the right thing and believe that a rising tide lifts all boats, they will take the highest standard and make that universal throughout their enterprise. And so that regardless of where you happen to work or be located, you have the same protections as it is in the most conservative jurisdiction. Doesn't sound like she did. And so that left the claims of the employees at the mercy of whatever the local laws were. And so in this case, some of them were dropped because the jurisdiction didn't have the same strength of laws that they did in the United States.
Well, let me ask you this, Attorney Carter. My question here is, because my understanding is they still may be able to file in U.S. courts. Is that still a possibility now that they're saying that because the misconduct happened abroad, that they can't sue?
Actually, so there's two different lawsuits. There's this one that was the one that was in the foreign jurisdiction that, and by the way, it hadn't been totally dismissed. There's still claims outstanding against Big Girl Big Touring Inc., which I think is Lizzo's production company. But what they're saying is Lizzo herself is not responsible for some of the things that she was accused of individually in that lawsuit. There was one filed in Los Angeles about the same time. And there's still a few of those claims still going out. One of them, for instance, with regard to the fat shaming and the idea that, now I looked it up, it's kind of interesting. U.S. law does not protect fat shaming. You can actually fire someone because of weight or height or looks or anything else. That's not a protected class, but there are ways to get around that. So, for instance, you can file a disability claim and say that they're discriminating against people who have a disability, fatism or whatever. Or you could say that
fatism a disability?
It is now.
Or you can even make a racial claim, by the way. You could say that if a certain percentage of people of a particular group happen to be overweight, then you are actually finding a way to discriminate against that group by saying you have weight restrictions, right? So, for instance, you say, hey, you can't have any ass at all, then there'll be no sisters. And as a result, that would be a claim for racial discrimination. So there's ways to get around it.
But think about it. If they're all dancing on the stage and there's a weight limitation on the stage, it's a safety thing, right? There you go. Got a way around it.
Yeah.
So are we saying then, counselors, that Lizzo is completely off the hook from her wardrobe assistant?
No.
Nobody's saying that.
So what do we expect? What do we expect next? Because this particular case was dismissed.
Well, I don't think the entire case was dismissed. Just some of the counts were dismissed, and some of the things she can't be held personally liable for. I think this is going to continue to go, and I think we're going to hear about an out-of-court settlement at some time in the near future. It's just not going to be, the payday that everybody was hoping for.
The interesting thing, though, is, and I think this is why this is still going on, is because the claims themselves attack at the heart of Lizzo's brand. And I think that's why it hasn't settled thus far. And so depending on how committed she is to maintaining it, she may have an incentive to do some things that her lawyers might not recommend, which is to continue to fight. And the challenge for Lizzo and anybody in this circumstance is kind of unfortunate because, as you see, she prevailed on some of these claims, but it was really on a technicality. It wasn't because there was it was proven that she didn't do it or that there wasn't any evidence to support it. It just didn't work in those jurisdictions. And so as it relates to somebody who's about body positivity, and inclusion and uplifting her faith, to be accused of fat shaming and racial discrimination, sexual harassment, like she's in a bind because, like, at the end of the fight, it might be a Pyrrhic victory. She might prevail on the lawsuits and then have no fans.
Tanya Crowder says she's losing weight now, though. Oh, Tanya, Toya Crowder. Ooh, Toya, you shady. I agree. The thing that got me so confused and upset at the same time is it's funny how what she complains the most about, as far as people disrespecting her, talking about her weight, not letting her live, not letting her be happy, not respecting her, the victim of all of that is now the perpetrator of all of that in these cases. Like, she's actually the one doing it to her own staff. And it's interesting because she's an entertainer. So obviously in Hollywood, weight is a big issue. However, she wants everybody to ignore hers, but she wants everyone in her camp, according to this lawsuit, to adhere to all of the fat shaming and everything else that exists.
I think it's a little even more, I think the framing is a little bit more sensational than that, right? I don't think that Lizzo is asking anybody to ignore anything about her. I mean, look at that outfit, right? She is out there, out and proud. So what she is asking people to do is to embrace, amplify, and, uplift big women who want to wear provocative clothing and who have talent, right? She's not saying ignore me. She's saying, look, I'm the ish, right?
Right.
And what her people are saying is, yeah, she's saying these things, but she's a hypocrite because she's judging us more harshly and on the same standards that she's asking for people to, not apply to her. And
right. So now, if anybody follows Lizzo on Instagram, and obviously I do, and we used to cover her on TGIF a lot. She used to go on Instagram a lot and just cry the blues about people talking about her weight. and about people not not upholding her talent, and why is everyone focusing on her body, and she's happy with her body. So she was always, to me, in and out, in and out, and in and out. 1 minute she wanted to celebrate her full figure. 1 minute she wanted people to stop talking about her. I didn't understand the flip-flopping and the emotional roller coaster that she personally would portray with her brand. But to me, what was most insulting was to find out that she was inflicting her employees, especially because most of them were plus-size women, to what she was inflicted.
Well, here's the thing is, though, I'm not sure I would go that far as the allegations are against her, other people in her production company, etc. The specific allegations of Lizzo is that she was making them do sort of freak-offs, right? That they were in a sense that she took them to a strip club in Amsterdam. They had to participate, etc. They said there was somebody else in the production company, which is why they were suing. And some other woman who was running the production company was kind of doing the fat shaming. And the weird part is Lizzo wasn't saying these women needed to be size 3. She don't want to be out there with a bunch of size 3s. She was just like, don't be, much fatter than me, right? I got the right amount of fat, but this is, you can't go past this. And by the way, I can imagine in all fairness to her, giving her the benefit of the doubt, someone could have been like, look, at a certain point, you're not going to be able to keep moving like this. So you can be a big girl, but you can't get out of control here.
Got it.
I mean, as the only woman in the conversation, I do have to give some context to the flip-flopping issue that you mentioned, Al. Like, I think it's a reflection of the fact that societal pressures are really intense. So it's like people who come out and they think they're pretty because their mama told them they're pretty, and then they go to UVA and they see all these beautiful people, and they're like, you know what? I'm not a dime. I'm really a penny. Like, what happened to her is that she was flaunting this image that she had developed at home, and it works in her mirror, and she does believe that that's how the world should receive her. But when she goes out in the world, she ain't received like that.
Right.
I think that's where the tension comes from. And
right.
A lot of women,
I think she's also okay with, hey, look, this is me. This is who I am. Take me for who I am. And then when somebody says negative, she's not happy, right?
Right.
You're gorgeous. You're big. You're large. Great. Nah, you should lose some weight. You can't do. No, why are you saying about that, mate? Yeah, and I think that's where that's where it's not flip flopping. It's like she doesn't like the negative. The negative.
Oh, so it's not. She just doesn't like the negative. Okay. All right. All right. Attorney Turner's going to step away right now. This next story is a tragic one. A UnitedHealth employee was targeted and assassinated. He was a CEO, and the suspect has been charged with first-degree murder. As details unfold, we're learning more about the motive behind this shocking act. All right, Attorney Weiss, I'm going to throw this to you. Give us an update, because so much is happening as it relates to this case. We find out that he was a young scholar. He was a valedictorian of his high school. He went to an Ivy League school. He was liked and adhered by many. He obviously online now, everyone they're split because he's a very attractive guy. They're showing him with his shirt off. Bring me up to speed with the motive behind this alleged attack, and where are we in the legal process?
So I'm not 100% sure of what the motive is at this point in time. It just seems as if he wrote this manifesto, and the entire manifesto had to do with that he didn't like things where he criticized the health industry, and he was saying negative things about the health industry. He was found in possession of a 3D printed firearm with a silencer, multiple fake IDs, and this manifesto expressing resentment towards corporate America and health insurers. They found a backpack and a phone and all of this, and they're talking about that how health insurance prioritizes profit over patient care, suggesting that his actions were motivated by some ideology. I think we're going to find out somewhere along the line that someone close to him or someone that had such a major impact on his life got denied some sort of coverage, couldn't get coverage for a procedure, had to file bankruptcy because of medical bills. I think that's what we're going to find. I also think that as intelligent as this man is on paper, I think we're also going to find something that he is not going to be competent to stand trial. I mean, there was a video that I saw where they were bringing him into custody.
Right. Do we have a picture of that, bailiff? I think we have a video of that.
Yeah, we were watching it earlier.
Yeah,
he was being escorted in, and he was shouting something. It was hard to tell what he was shouting. But you know, this
bailiff. Do we have a video of that?
Completely out of touch and an insult to the intelligence of the American people and its lived experience.
Okay, so let me share this one point right here. I honestly, something's telling me something in the milk ain't clean here. Why would he only kill the CEO of UnitedHealth? There are tons of healthcare of companies out here, insurance companies out here. Why would he target the CEO of CEO? Number two, how did he know where the CEO of UnitedHealthcare was staying? Because the CEO was leaving the hotel that he was staying and going to a hotel in which he was attending a conference at 6:30 in the morning. There are too many question marks around this case that no one is pretending like they have any answers to. This doesn't seem to me to be, you know, a picketer or a rider or somebody who is upset that their mother got dropped from UnitedHealthcare or that someone they love got dropped from UnitedHealthcare. I just don't feel that in my bones because allegedly he had been waiting out there for hours. How did he know where he was staying? How did he know he was going to come out at that time to go to the conference? This to me, you guys know I do crime commentary and I do passion crime commentary. It's called The Payback on TV One. This gives me a crime of passion tea.
100%.
I don't know why. 100%. This gives me crime of passion tea. This gives me.
So what?
He knew him personally.
You think they knew each other personally?
I think they knew each other. This is giving me. He knew him personally. He knew exactly where he was staying at because he probably visited him at that hotel. He probably knew the man's schedule because they had talked about it at dinner or something. He's a very attractive young man, very sociable. A lot of people liked him. Ex-professors have talked about him. I don't know. I just think there are too many question marks here for me to say that this guy is standing up as an advocate of accessible health care for all.
Oh, I don't think he's standing up as an advocate for accessible healthcare for all. I think he is. There's definitely more to this story. I do agree with you. I think they knew each other. You know, he was outside the location of this conference hotel. The location of the hotel was publicized. And who knows? I mean, look, we could go on and on for any theory. Maybe he was planning to go to another one. Maybe he thought there was somebody else was going to come out. But I also think that we might hear that there is some sort of personal relationship between these two. It could have been an intern. It could have been a mentor. It could have been a relationship. Who knows? Who knows? There's a lot more.
Right. Attorney Carter, talk to me though, because his attorney has done a press conference and has stated that there is no evidence. No one has any evidence to prove that his client is the one that shot the gun.
And we might not have that yet. But, you know, some of the other things seem to be a little suspicious. We've got the fake IDs. We've got the fact that he had something in his possession that may or may not have been the murder weapon. Though forensics will go through that. Your Honor, at first I thought you were tripping. I have to admit, when you went through respectively and you were, but now I'm starting to see the wisdom in what you were saying, because it seems so unlikely that he just not only happened to be at the right place at the right time, right? Knowing exactly where he was, but also if it's a crime of passion, and this is the thing I have a problem with crime of passion is, why do you have engraved on the shell casings, was it deny, delay, depose? You know, there seems to be some political element here, but let's be clear. He was actually charged with second-degree murder, and that's a big distinction and different. Here's why it's different.
Okay.
It's premeditated. Everything is premeditated, but all premeditated murders in New York aren't first degree. First degree is a special class that, by the way, gets you life imprisonment without parole. automatically.
Does life exist, and do people go get life in Pennsylvania because he's in Pennsylvania, correct?
Yeah, but that's just the weapons and the ID charge in Pennsylvania. They extradited him back to New York to face second-degree murder charges, and second-degree murder is different. It's premeditated, but it isn't a special category. The special categories, this is why it's important, involve things like killing a police officer. They involve things like murder for hire plot. And they involve terrorism, trying to achieve political gains by violence. So if it was absolutely sure that that's what he was doing, a first-degree murder charge might actually fit. And that's a bigger punishment. They're not going for that right now. They're only going for second degree. So that kind of feeds into your idea that this might not be political. It might
Sonny
not
Clark,
be.
Sonny Clark, I agree with you. Sonny Clark says it's giving trick and sugar daddy vibes. I don't mean to laugh about this, but it's giving me, you owe me, you told me, you promised me something, and you reneged on it, and I'm going to make you pay.
So the rumor is that Thompson and his wife were living separately for years. So throw that in. They weren't legally married, but I think the source was People Magazine or one of the others. Thompson and his wife living separately for several years, but there is no indication of what that was for. Just
all right, Bailiff, let's see that picture one more time of the CEO of United Healthcare and the
look, Papa Bear.
Yeah, I might agree with you on this one. I might agree with you on this one, Sonny. That's giving trick and sugar daddy vibes. I'm not really sure, but I just don't feel like a young man, unless there were some mental health issues here, a young man who's valedictorian of his class, went to an Ivy League school, well liked by all his professors, all of a sudden snaps because something he was denied or someone he loved was denied health care at United Healthcare. This is not adding up, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see what really unfolds. And the fact that this attorney, now this is why I want to go back really quickly. The fact that his attorney is saying there is no evidence or no proof that my client shot him. Where are the videos?
What else are you going to say?
Well, I'm saying, where are the videos? Why doesn't the hotel, that's a 4 or 5 star hotel. Where are the videos from outside?
We have a video of him doing, somebody doing the shooting. His head is covered at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, his head is covered.
Yeah,
okay, but then they have. Okay.
Hey, who knows? Maybe it could be the wife. You never know. Maybe
you sound like my wife.
Well, no, I don't think the wife wouldn't kill him. The wife wouldn't kill him.
But the attorney,
because remember, a couple of weeks prior, he sold his stock before the stock took a plummet, right. And him and the other managers or CEOs or C-suite people had made. I guess he had sold $50 million worth of his stock. I'm thinking he sold $50 million of his stock a couple of weeks or maybe a month prior, promised some money to what we said, Sugar Daddy, and I'm still on this crime of passion. Promised some money to probably help pay for something or do something. He reneged on it, and this guy was really upset and was like, "You're not going to get away with this, and I'm going to hold you responsible." That's what it's giving me.
And maybe the bullet denied had to do with that he was denied.
Maybe so.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Maybe he was denied, huh? All right, everybody, let's keep it going. Master P is no stranger. Attorney Turner, please join us back. Master P is no stranger to the headlines, but this time it's his son in the hot seat, accused of stealing refrigerators while being a student athlete from his campus housing. This case has shocked fans and critics alike. Attorney Weiss, please tell me, why is Master P's son, who's on a football scholarship, and 2 of his teammates stealing refrigerators?
And so according to what the statement that the school put out, and according to that everybody put out, this is a big misunderstanding. They thought these refrigerators were available because they'd been sitting out on a dock for like a month and anybody could have them. Come on, you know. And the other thing is that, you know, guilt by association. He wasn't the one that took the refrigerators. He just happened to watch his friends do it. Come on. It was probably, I don't even know, a prank. It was something to do with refrigerator Perry. It was, I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, look, I don't know if there was any substance abuse involved, if they were drunk, if they were high, if they were having a good time and going out. And this was, you know, like we used to do in college, the cow tipping. Maybe it was.
Yeah, exactly. It gave me counselors, and everybody can chime on this. This gave me fraternity pledge and tea. It gave me football first year pledge and tea, where they were given, you know, this task that they had to do, you know, to prove that they belong. And unfortunately, you know, you're Master P's son, and you can't just act like this.
Yeah.
What do you think, Attorney Turner?
It's Utah. What else is there to do?
Right? Yeah, it gives me proving to everybody I ain't no M&F and punk tea, right? Because there's all this street cred that the rich kids try to show to everyone else to say that they're not soft and this is how hard they are, but they didn't expect to get caught. But I like it was just a misunderstanding. There were a bunch of refrigerators on the dock. We thought that they said take one. I mean, that's creativity, right?
Right.
Yeah. And it certainly wasn't the fact that he needed a cold drink. Not only does his daddy have all the money in the world, but he got a little bit of money of his own. He has a $2 million NIL contract, so he can afford a refrigerator. Okay, I got a refrigerator, and I don't have nothing. I don't even have an NI or L contract, and I got a refrigerator. Right? You can get a refrigerator, and so it's not the fact that, you know, they were stealing for need or whatever. This either was a prank or, like I said, he was establishing some cred. Right? This is.
But you know what? I also think this case reminds us that even though your dad is wealthy, even though your dad, you know, makes a lot of money, you know, those with privileges must face the same consequences of those of non-privilege. And it also highlights the unique pressures placed on celebrity families, because would this have been splashed all over the internet if he wasn't Master P's son?
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of, anybody remember LiAngelo Ball, one of the Ball brothers who went to China and got arrested for stealing some shades, even though he had all kind of money? And there's something about, you know, I don't know if it's, like I said, maybe I think Attorney Turner has the right idea, but there's something about trying to prove your cred with people who don't have money that you have to sort of somehow, you know, sink to some level. By the way, even the poor kids, by the way, aren't stealing stuff out of China, because that's crazy.
Right.
Well, he's 20.
Sonny Clark said, let Romeo tell it. Daddy P is stingy. Oh boy. All right. Jay Calwood 25 says, Al, your audio is way too loud, so I can't even turn up the TV to hear the others because you'll be booming. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what to do about that. I'll turn my mic down. Is it still too loud? Because we can't tell on this side. Let us know. Drop down in the chat. All right, everybody, the likes aren't liking, though. Please be sure to hit that like button. Also, be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, be sure to hit the share button and invite some friends over here to learn about these incredible celebrity cases and the law and how it applies to you. Also, turn on your notifications and drop down in the comments, because we love hearing from you and reading your comments. Daniela Cameron, one of our favorites, said, now wait, Master P's son was hungry. The price of groceries, I'm about to steal refrigerators. L. Wally C. Moncure Smith said, tie down your refrigerators and your dishes here in the DR. All right, any more questions, algorithm, you got for our attorneys on the cases that we are covering? Because next up, we have a juicy one. This one's got me completely confused. Next, we're looking at the heartbreaking story of Shawn Thomas. After spending nearly 20 years in prison for a crime he didn't commit, Shawn won $4.1 million for his wrongful conviction. But this is where the story doesn't end. He's now back in jail on a different charge. Attorney Carter, tell me what is going on. How do you finally get out of prison? You get out of prison, you're now a multimillionaire. Now you're a multimillionaire. You confess to something else, and now you're going back to prison. What is going on?
And this one was particularly strange to me. It's often the case that someone is exonerated or released from prison for whatever reason, and you come back and it's hard to reintegrate in society. You can't get a job. No one hires a felon. But fortunately, he got $4.1 million. So he didn't have to, try to find a job at the Piggly Wiggly. If you put your money in the bank, you'd be okay living off just the interest. And somehow he goes back to prison for a future murder, 2013, for a $1,200 drug deal.
Wow.
Why are you doing $1,200 drug deals? You got $4.5 million in the bank. It's absolutely insane. And he's lucky, because Pennsylvania, by the way, does not have a mandatory statute that allows you money when you get out. Like if you're in Texas and you go to jail for any period of time, if you're exonerated, you get $80,000 per year that you were out in. So if you were in for 20 years, you get $1.6 million, and they give you an annuity for $1.6 million so that you have living money. So you don't have to spend the 1.6, but he has $4.4 million. I don't get how he got back in that same thing, other than the fact that this is just, how he thinks life is, that I need to be out here selling dime bags no matter how much money I have.
That's crazy. Attorney Rice and Attorney Turner, help me understand, how does wrongful conviction settlements work?
So
do you get the money immediately?
I'm pretty sure he got it as a lump sum, and it was the city, if I'm not mistaken, that paid the lump sum. You get it, it's there. I mean, I'm sure, I don't know if there's taxes or whatever it is, but you get that money and that's it. You live on that. And one of the things that I found, I'm going to say the word astonishing, because that's what the judge said. The judge in the sentencing for the 2023, she expressed astonishment that he would jeopardize his freedom over such a relatively small sum. Now his scheduling and sentencing is set for February, and his family is asking for life in prison for this, which that's crazy. They want a life sentencing. The only thing I can say is, I recently rewatched the movie Shawshank Redemption, and Red, he talked about it, and the guy that that wound up, no spoiler alert, the guy that wound up killing himself, it was because he couldn't live on the outside world, and that's what it is. It's the whole recidivism, that you're locked up for so long that you don't know any better, and the structure and the 4 meals and the roof over your head and working out, and maybe that's it. I'm curious what happens to the 4.
Does he have to give the money back?
I don't think so. Because it has nothing to do with it. They got him right this time. They didn't get him right before, so they're.
So it's possible that he's probably one of the more wealthiest prisoners.
Yeah,
in jail.
Still plenty of cigarettes and baby oil. I mean,
you gotta stop with baby oil, girl.
He's gonna have to spend time with P. Diddy. There you go.
Exactly.
He's gonna have like a good life. He's gonna have his commissary is gonna be always full. No.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Here's the sad part, though, in like all seriousness. There is a lifestyle that gets people incarcerated, right? So he was wrongfully convicted, but it sounds like he could have been convicted of other things that they didn't catch him for.
Right.
And so he got out, he got cash, and everybody's saying, oh, wow, he hit the jackpot. But as you've seen with people who hit the lottery, who spend it all and go broke, if you don't have the skills that are essential to you having a different type of life, then you don't know what to do. Because you know what, when you wake up in the morning, even though I would know, universe, let me tell you, I get $4 million, I know what to do with it. I would not sell crack. But you have to figure out how to spend your time every day, right? And it sounds like when he was out before, he probably was standing on the corner trying to make a deal. And so it was more about the habit of how he spent his time, I bet, than the fact that he wanted money as a result of it. And so that's the sad part. They actually, if I was his lawyer, I would argue that the state failed him by not giving him resources to help him reacclimate into society, and maybe he could get the most lenient sentence combined with some sort of training,
rehab, or yeah.
Can I ask a question of the other counselors?
Mm-hmm.
If you were his lawyer, would you try to argue that he's already done most of a murder sentence already? Shouldn't he have gotten a free one? Right? If he did 24 years before and you're only gonna give him 24 years now, maybe I get a free one now. Because I have to admit, if you put me in jail for 24 years for some stuff I didn't commit, crime I didn't commit, I'm gonna commit 2 to 3 years worth of crime. I'm gonna give some of my time back.
I'll be on.
You want to do a trade-off, counselor?
Yeah, exactly. I paid it up front. I deposited the time up front. And seriously, would that be an argument?
Counselor Carter, you always hustling the court.
If that were the argument, would he have to return the 4.1 million?
Right, because that was supposed to be his compensation for.
Okay. And well, so he probably spent that, so yeah.
Well, I tell you this, I need to go see him. We should do a dating show for that young man. I bet you a whole lot of women on the outside would want to date him.
Well, you know what? I mean, what's better than a husband you don't have to deal with? Wait a
minute. Order in the court. Order in my court. How dare you? How dare you put down men in my court? How dare you, Attorney Turner? That's a good one. All right, so I guess, let me see. Tanya Kelly says, does this show come on Tuesday night instead of Monday night? No, I was at the celebration of Black cinema and television last night with Tyler Perry. So we weren't able to do it on Monday night. So we decided to do it tonight. So we will go back to Monday, Wednesday, Friday next week. But it looks like we got a nice little turnout. MMEKOARA said, hallelujah, Attorney Turner. Linnell Siler says, hi. Let It Go says, that's a damn shame. Abby NYC, the MM family said, ooh, no 25 years with men, not me. Sonny Clark's laughing face. Let's see, who else? C. Willie C. Moncure Smith said, we have to rehabilitate these young men. Now that I do agree with that. And Sonny Clark said he didn't know how to deal with the social situations on the streets. I think if he went in at 18, like they say, you come out the age that you went in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, he probably thought honestly, let's just really call a spade a spade. He thought with $4 million, now he can do what the heck he want to do. He don't have a worry, but he doesn't understand a crime is a crime, right? No matter, a crime is a
crime. That's what like Attorney White said. I mean, there's one thing, if you were out there and you tried to level up, you tried to be the next Scarface, he was back on the same floor he was before.
I know, it's so bad. Can you imagine the jail you walked out of? Can you imagine the jail you walked out of and then welcoming you back?
I hope you didn't talk too much trash when he left.
You. And they're like, dumb MF, what were you thinking about?
All right. Especially with $4 million in your pocket.
They would have, how people always be like, if I have $4 million, I'd know how to freak it. That's what they say in prison. It wouldn't have been me. It wouldn't have been me.
All right, everybody. The hottest story of the evening is coming up. We have Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs. Welcome to the Celebrity Court. They're facing multiple sexual assault lawsuits under the New York's Adult Survivors Act. Diddy in particular is under fire for allegations involving drug and sexual assault and even sex trafficking. Well, guess what? His old-time best friend Jay-Z, while denying all the accusations, is now also in the spotlight. Attorney Weiss, tell us what is going on with Jay-Z.
Misery loves company. That's what it is. P. Diddy wanted his buddy to spend some time with him. Now, I mean, look, Jay-Z is coming out. He's denying this. He's saying it's heinous. He's saying it's, the lawsuit is part of an extortion theme and, all of this stuff. And he is taking front and center and he is basically trying to, and I'm not saying it's good or bad, but he's trying to get out of it. He's trying to say, this wasn't me, no proof. And he's trying to protect that image. And I think he's trying to protect it for multiple reasons.
Right.
One of them probably I can't say her name, so we'll just call her B. And the other one, it probably has to do with his relationship with the NFL. You know,
I
what the
totally think
NFL
so.
Yeah, they spent a ton of money on initiatives and programs and things for, you know, the youngsters that are coming in, and to have this guy who's in charge of entertainment and music and all of that be accused of something with a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah, that doesn't look good. Attorney Weiss, they're saying your mic is low.
Yep, and I just moved it closer to me, so hopefully it got louder.
All right, so let's read. I have the letter, the statement that he released, and let's examine this statement, okay? He said, my lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Busby. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations, and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir. It had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny. These allegations are heinous in nature, and that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whoever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? He says these alleged allegations would deserve real justice if that were the case. This lawyer, who I have done a little bit of research, seems to have a pattern of these theatrics. He said, I have no idea how you have come to be such a deplorable human, Mr. Busby, but I promise you, I have seen your kind many times over. I'm sorry, guys. The writing is so small I can barely read it. I'm more than prepared to deal with your type. You claim to be a Marine. Marines are known for their valor. You have neither honor nor integrity. Now, I'm not going to continue to finish reading the rest, but in reading the rest, he talks about his family. He talks about his support goes to the true victims, and he said that lawyer made a terrible error in judgment, thinking that all celebrities are the same. He said, I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out of the projects of Brooklyn, who don't play these types of games. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. I don't know what y'all think about this, but I have never seen a celebrity issue this type of statement. Now, in my day, if you issued this type of statement, people thought you were guilty.
Yep.
It was better.
Johnson is going on is the question, right?
Huh?
I said, what in the Johnson & Johnson is going on in that letter is the question.
Right. And why would any lawyer allow him to write all that? First of all, I don't hear any Jay-Z in this letter.
I hear lots of it. Here's why I say I hear lots of it. Because to your point, he wrote that letter against his lawyer's advice. His lawyer read it and maybe said,
no, that looks like a PR. That looks like a publicist who wrote that letter because they're like, you need to stand up. Now, the reason why I say that is because if he wrote that letter, wouldn't you say I did not do it? I would. If you accused me of raping a 13-year-old girl and I wrote an open letter, first of all, I would put the open letter in like the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal. I would do an open letter to the editor. Two, the first thing I would say in this long narrative is that I did not rape that girl. I don't know no girl. I was never around a 13-year-old girl, and I have no idea where this has come from. I don't need to hear about your life.
True. I don't think that's true. I think that's why he didn't say it. As the pictures indicate, they were thick as thieves, right? I think he doesn't know who this girl is. I think that he probably did things back in the day that he regrets. He does not believe that he did those things to a minor. That's what I heard in there. I also heard signs of weakness to me, which is why I think it's more him as opposed to his lawyer. Because the personal insults to Busby, I'm not really sure what anybody thought those were going to be. Like basically attacking his manhood. You're not a real Marine. We got street.
I just don't think that came from Jay-Z. I just don't think that that's how he talks. I don't think that that's how he would say. That sounds like a publicist wrote that, and a publicist said, hey, we need to come strong. We need to come hard. We need to attack his credibility, and we need to let people know where we came from. Attorney Weiss, what are your thoughts?
I'm there with you. I don't think he authored that. I think it just someone wrote it for him and placed his stamp on it, and it went out. I mean, he probably was able to say, I want to talk about where I came from and family values and all of this, but I mean, look, that's what PR firms do. Someone in the comments put he needs Olivia Pope. I agree, right?
I think so too.
There now and get ahead of this, but I also agree with what Shaitan says, which is the fact that he probably does not remember what happened 24 years ago, 25 years ago, and as of now, this young lady's name has not been released. So maybe he knows the name, but we don't know the name.
If you listen to Jay-Z, I agree with you, Ashley, Algorator. Whoever did it rushed. It could be him, but certain words like "would you agree" sounds like an employee wrote that. I totally agree with that. I something that once again in my core, it's saying we got to protect these $2 billion brands that we have married. This carries significant backlash, both for Beyonce, her brand, and Jay-Z and his brand, and all of his partnerships. We need to come out strong. And the lawyer's probably saying, you don't need to say anything. And the publicist said, no, you don't understand. We have to issue a statement. And the statement was issued. Attorney Carter.
The statement that was issued wasn't strong, Al. That's the problem.
It wasn't.
It was a weak statement. If you want to,
when I say strong, when I say strong is he attacks a lawyer's credibility. He talks about the Marines. He talks about growing up in Brooklyn and the streets. Talk to me about you would never sleep with a 13-year-old. I don't want to hear about your life growing up in Brooklyn. I don't want to hear you attacking or trying to reduce the credibility of the lawyer. I don't want you to use your influence to try to put this lawyer in a different light. I want you to defend yourself because someone is accusing you of sexually assaulting a minor.
Well, he also attacks the victim, right? Subtly. Because later in the statement, he talks about how she should have filed, like if this were true, there should have been a criminal charge that preceded the civil charge. This is just an extortion attempt. So, and he talks about how legitimate victims are, how he has compassion for them. Here's what I think that you can't forget, because I've listened to Jay-Z. I'm a Jay-Z fan. If this is true, I guess I'll have to get rid of that music too. It's going to be really hard to listen to since everybody's getting in trouble. But he has had a redemption tour for himself. So the person who he was back then, like that was Money Ain't a Thing times. That was Can I Get a What, right? That was that time. That was an elder statesman of hip hop who's a dad, right? So what I heard in that statement was he did not want to lie. That's what it came across to me. He wanted to have a defense to say, I'm not that kind of person, but I really think he doesn't know who this person is and what the facts are, and didn't want to have to come out and say an about face for his kids, because he does have also later in the statement that he's had to teach his family about extortion and how people are just out there for greed. So to me, and here's the problem, so the lesson for algoriters is if you ever find yourself with a need to make a public statement about something, you have to stay on mission, right?
Right.
In this case, his mission should have been to convince the public and potentially jurors that he's not a rapist. He tried to do too much in this statement.
Yeah, and they're doing too much publicly too, because here in Los Angeles, he was at the Mufasa premiere, which to me, I just thought that was inappropriate for someone, even if it wasn't true, to appear on the carpet at that brand, because that's that film house's premiere. I know their daughter is in the premiere, but he brought more negative attention to a child, young, sensitive kid situation.
He wanted to support his daughter. That's a tough spot.
But can't you support your daughter without walking the carpet?
It depends on the kind of support she wanted. That's all I'm saying. He's daddy, right? He might be there to hold her hand for tough times. They've been at award shows without her mom before. They seem really tight. So I think that's why he did it. If he were thinking just for his own image, he would have been at home. That's just my thoughts.
Attorney Carter, you're really quiet. What are your thoughts on this?
Here's the thing is that for me, I'm not, and maybe it's just because we share close to the same name. And by the way, it's not the same damn name. All right, he spells it wrong. I spell my name right. But aside from that, here's the thing is that, remember, this isn't the first draft of this lawsuit. The lawsuit was originally filed against Diddy. And then he went and added later, apparently after contacting Jay-Z and saying, hey, Jay-Z, we know we got Diddy. Anyone's going to believe anything about Diddy. You give us some money now, and we won't even name you in this. He says, I'm not giving you any money. And now he names another person. Now, if next week the suit is amended to include 50 Cent, is it going to be still credible to you then? Or are you going to say, well, yeah, 50 Cent was obviously there? And there's become this guilt by association that I got a little problem with. And here's why. Because I never hung out with Diddy. He wouldn't invite me to the party. I would have gone, but he didn't invite me. But here's the thing is, I grew up in Compton, straight out of Compton. Got the T-shirt, the birth certificate. I know 3 murderers. Don't come at me and go, well, Shawn, you know 3 murderers. You must be a murderer too. All right. The fact that you know people who did horrible things, the fact that you're in business with people who did horrible things doesn't make you there. And the bottom line is simply this: because Diddy, it's so believable that Diddy did anything, anyone who has any association with Diddy. So don't get me wrong. Watch when the Obama lawsuit comes out. Obama's been with Diddy before. Wait till someone says Obama did this to me and Michelle helped. Okay.
Oh gosh.
Y'all getting to the point now.
Attorney Carter, one thing we can't do now. One thing we can't do is we can't ignore that there's a victim in the middle of this.
We don't know that.
I know, but I'm just saying there's a woman who says that she was victimized and she was 13 years old. I don't want us to dismiss the victims in these cases because you know they hang together, they don't mean that they do all the same things.
And remember Emmett Till? There was a woman who said she was a victim there too. We can't necessarily say just because someone claims something happened 24 years ago, which we're not going to be able to validate.
Well, I totally agree. I totally agree with you, but I'm saying we can't discount her either. We can't discount her. I think we have to.
Attorney Carter was saying though. I think what Attorney Carter was saying had more to do with the notion that what they are attempting to do with the other Shawn Carter is to say birds of a feather flock together. And
right.
He was disputing that as a plausible argument for this. I actually think that this goes a step further though, Attorney Carter, because I'm not sure about your relationship with those 3 murderers. I mean, I know some shady people too, but they weren't my boys, right? They weren't my girls. In this case, at least from public opinion back in the day during this time, Jay-Z and P. Diddy were thick as thieves. They partied together.
Right.
They worked together. So the argument would be, it'd be kind of like if they said, you know, Biggie was at the freak offs. They were so close that there's no way that this was happening and Jay-Z didn't know. Now you're right. Your boy could be into some serious dirt and you were just in the same vicinity and you didn't do it. And so I think that's something to be unpacked too.
I think there's a lot to unpack here. Go ahead, Attorney Weiss.
I was going to say in the comments, there's been a lot of people that say want to know where the parents were, and how was a 13-year-old girl, permitted in this spot. I kind of want to know that. Look, I got an almost 15-year-old daughter. I know where she's at. She's not at parties and all of this. And again, another one. How are these kids getting into these places? So again, I think it's very important that, the victim gets protected, or as someone put in the comments, the alleged victim gets protected, and we can't make light of that. but at the same time, there are a lot of questions that need to be answered. And I think he would have been better suited just to go ahead and put something out there and just say that I deny, all of this. And,
I agree with that.
And the truth will come out. And that's
I agree with that, because all this 5 paragraphs, 10 paragraph writing, this thesis that he wrote does not give me confidence that he, and I mean, I like Jay-Z, I like Beyonce, I'm big fans. They're culture creators for us. They shifted the culture for us. They shifted the economic environment of the African American community. They changed the game of hip hop. They changed the game of music. I mean, however, if you are taking advantage of young girls, none of that matters to me. You know what I mean?
So here's the statement I would have released, Attorney Weiss, because I still think there is a recollection problem that he's fighting against. So
okay.
I'm not sure if I would have had a complete denial, but I would have turned it on the lawyer in this way. Had it be a short statement and say, there has been no credible evidence to support that
I agree.
I'm involved in any way in raping.
I agree.
And so then in that way, if it comes out, then he hasn't denied it, right? He just said there's no evidence, come for me. And they didn't do that.
Oh, you guys wouldn't have liked that at all. There's no evidence. Imagine if I say to my wife, hey, baby, there's no evidence that I was cheating last month in the Bahamas, but you go come find it.
Okay, right? But what did you like about his statement then? What about this statement that you like? Did you like the fact that he attacked the attorney for being a Marine? That seemed that was
ridiculous.
That was how I knew he did not write that. Would you also go and say that I'm just a boy from Brooklyn who grew up on the streets? What? Like what is going on?
Right now, Jay-Z's as old as me. He just got better beard management. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. And so I'm not saying his statement is great. And don't get me wrong, I do agree with the attorneys here that I don't think anybody told him to write this. I don't think that he wrote it or that the attorney said, "Hey, do this." But think about the position he's in, because I'm not even sure he knows who the alleged victim is. They're not naming the complaint. Right. So basically saying you in 2000 raped somebody somewhere, sometime. How do I possibly prove that I didn't?
Right.
Right. I'm pretty sure I didn't, but I can't because of where you can't even tell me where I was. And so to me, it's a kind of situation where, and by the way, let me tell you a little secret here. I've gotten remember, my name is Shaurn Carter. I've gotten a Jay-Z call before. I got a call once years ago, and a young woman said, "Hey, Shaurn Carter, you remember me? We met in New Jersey. It lasted about 9 months ago." And I was like, in the back of your limo. I'm not kidding. And I was like, no, we didn't, girl. Because if you were with me in New Jersey, you were in a Ford Focus. All right. So
I cannot not a Ford Focus. Abby NYC, the MM family said, not only did he say he was a bad Marine, but he had it on a cheap suit. Yeah. Cut it out.
Well, his thing is,
why would you ever mention that's a publicist right there? That Jay-Z doesn't give a crap about the man's suit.
But that's
Jay-Z
that's a common comment that people say about ambulance chasers. So that was all just in that. You always talk about them having a cheap suit. That's how you can spot it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure Jay-Z didn't know that ambulance chasers wore cheap suits. Sorry. It's just not adding up for me. All right, everybody. This is a part of the show that we go to you, the jury, to answer your questions that you may have about the cases that we covered. But before we get there, we have close to 300 tonight, but the likes aren't liking. Please, everyone that's watching tonight and enjoying tonight's show, hit that like button. Also, if you are, hit that subscribe button. If you are subscribed, hit the share button. Invite some people over to join to learn about the law and talk about these celebrities. Also, don't forget to turn on your notifications. And as always, we love how you drop down into the comments because we love reading them and getting your opinion about what we're talking about. All right, first up, we have Danielle Cameron, who we really appreciate your consistency with us here. Why are you even able to bypass safety mechanisms that shouldn't even be a feature?
That's from the
That
other
was
show when we were
from
talking about the amusement parks. Yeah.
Oh, music park. Okay, all right. Let's keep it going. Nick Knack 86. So should there be an age requirement to opt? No, that's the other show too. I don't.
Look on
No,
the screen, Your
we're
Honor.
to yeah. Is weight
Is
guarded?
weight guarded by
Oh.
the entertainment industry?
Yeah, that no, that's not. Oh, here we go. Okay, yeah, let's go to that one. L. Willie C. Moncure is weight guarded by the entertainment industry. Can't the discriminate on looks due to the industry? Seem to remember this from Florida business law in school. Who wants to take that?
I'll take that because I did a little research on this. They're basically saying, and if I understand the question correctly, isn't kind of weight and can't we discriminate in the entertainment industry based on weight and or looks? And the answer, yeah, entertainment does all the time. Otherwise, we'd have British TV. All right, everybody on TV look good. I had to put on makeup just to come on YouTube. All right, so yeah, we do that all the time. Okay, we're not British around here. I get that, but there are some states though. Like, for instance, Michigan has a law that says you can't discriminate. So if you go to Hooters, for instance, you're going to see all the Hooters, all right, and some other stuff because they can't discriminate on weight. But in California, for the most part, yeah, you could discriminate anything.
Well, I will say this now. L. Wiley C. Moncure Smith. Unfortunately, in the entertainment industry, it's all weight discrimination. It's like, listen, everybody in LA are so daggone skinny. Like, I walk around feeling fat and I weigh 200 pounds. And the people that I work with, especially when I'm on television, they constantly tell me that I need to get down to 190, that I need to be 185. And the majority of men in Hollywood are between 165 and 185. And that's what you have to get. And if you vary anywhere outside of that, especially on the top side, you're considered fat. You're considered not marketable. They don't want to work with you. So I don't think that weight is guarded in this industry. Of all industries, this is the one that it's not.
But you could also set the. Go ahead, Attorney Turner, please.
Well, what I was going to say is you're in a different sort of industry, and the federal employment laws still apply. And so the question is, is it related to the job? And then there's certain things that were done in the industry for years that are now, well, they were frowned upon for like television anchors. They used to get rid of television anchors, women in particular, once they hit a certain age. And
that's right.
Age discrimination that's no longer enforced. And if you remember, we talked a little bit ago that the Hallmark Channel is being criticized for age discrimination. And I'm not sure if they've been sued or not, but because they wanted to get rid of Holly Robinson Peete and Lacey Chabert because they were saying that they were too old. But they can still act. And so the question becomes, what do those laws look like? How do we?
Right. Well, how are they? How do you back them up? Like, how do you?
But that's because it's age discrimination, which is specifically prohibited, but weight and height and looks is not.
All right, we're running a little long. Let me run through these really quickly, guys, and then we can come back. Venetia, I think that's Venetia Phillips says, Al, it was definitely nothing to apologize about. We had a ball. I don't mind you having a couple of drinks. Yeah, I had quite a few, baby. Justly, while this killing was senseless, I think this should make a conversation about how health insurance companies really do rob us. I agree. Ashley said, I think it's the wife. The CEO had an upcoming trial about some type of scam. Well, the scam was that he did insider trading and he dumped his stock before the announcement about the healthcare, which made the stock plummet. So I don't know about that one. Ashley, yes, it was the wife. This Diddy stuff have everything. Yes, it was the wife. This Diddy stuff have everyone thinking gay stuff. Oh, no. Danielle Cameron, not you getting free after 20 years and end up back in prison. Sir, you have money now. What kind of person goes back? I know I would have moved out of the country. Wiley C. Moncure Smith says, Jay, you need Olivia Pope. Shaitan, do you think the feds might still be building the case?
I do. I think that more is coming. Like, we keep seeing that these plaintiffs in the civil case are coming out of the woodwork, and that just gives more fodder for the feds to have people to contact. So it's going to mushroom.
Got it. All right. And Annie Howard said, grown men used to come to high schools when I was coming up It's just not right. Yeah, I agree, Annie. So get back to you, Jason, on that really quickly. In the R. Kelly documentary, and also in the case with Diddy, families used to bring the kids. Parents used to bring the kids because they thought that they were bringing the kids to be stars. In fact, look at Usher. Look at Justin Bieber. You ask where their parents are. Janetta, who's Usher's mother, wow, she was like one of the best managers in the business. I think if she knew that she was delivering her son to anything about what's been exposed now, she would have never wanted her son to go live with him to become a star. All right, everybody. Next up, this is the part where the judge and the counselors decide if the individuals are guilty or not guilty. First up, let's go with Lizzo. Is Lizzo guilty or not guilty, Attorney Weiss, of discriminating against others as it relates to their weight?
I think she's guilty. I think she just found a good attorney who found a good loophole and made a good argument to the judge. But it ain't done. It ain't over. There's still more to come.
Attorney Carter,
not guilty. All right.
Oh.
Lizzo is dropping weight. The skinnier she get, the more innocent she get. All right, she's gonna be free of all crimes by the time she get down to about a size 6. But that's just me.
And she's gonna have to pick up her weight loss.
Is Attorney
Her
Carter
flappy skin.
having the skinny cute defense?
Right.
That's the best defense in America. Think about it. It's working for the.
You're horrible.
It's working for the CEO guy. But
all right, Attorney Turner.
I don't even know what to say.
Is she guilty or not guilty?
She's I don't know. She's guilty.
I'm Alan. I'm the judge here at Celebrity Court. I'm going to find Lizzo guilty of treating the people the way people treated her. It happens all the time. If you study psychology, individuals who go through those type of traumatic experiences usually turn around to their kids, to their families, to their friends, to their associates, to their employees, inflict the same. All right, next stop, and Attorney Turner's going to step away from this. UnitedHealth, is the young man guilty or not guilty of killing the CEO? Attorney Weiss.
So based on the facts that I've seen right now, I'm thinking guilty.
Attorney Carter?
I'm thinking guilty as well, but I want to hear your honor because you had some interesting thoughts here. I'm thinking more differently about it. And here's what I want to say, though. A lot of us are going to feel really silly when we made this a crusade about healthcare, et cetera. If it turns out this guy was just mad, because he didn't get a call back. Right, he gets swiped on Tinder. It's gonna be weird.
He got short a little bit in his payment. I'm Alan. I'm the judge. Huh?
We're not saying why he's guilty. We're just saying
right.
Guilty.
We're not saying. Yep. I'm Al Reynolds, and I'm the judge here in Celebrity Court, and I'm going to find this young man guilty of shooting the CEO. But I think we're going to find out down the road that maybe. It wasn't, just out of hate and over a health-related or health insurance-related crime. All right, let's keep it going. Next up, we are looking at Master P's son. Is he guilty or not guilty of stealing that refrigerator? Attorney Turner, what say you?
Regrettably, he's guilty.
Weiss?
He's guilty of being a dumb arse.
All right, Attorney Carter?
I want to say not guilty. I really do. But the fact that you're only one of 3 brothers in Utah, they probably identified you correctly. So you're guilty, brother.
Right. I'm Alan. I'm the judge here at Celebrity Court. And unfortunately, Master P, I got to find your son guilty. Not only is he guilty of the crime, but he's guilty of being dumb and doing it. Period. You are the son of a celebrity. You can't move in these streets like everybody else, dude. That's why you're plastered everywhere, shaming your school, shaming your family, and shaming yourself. Sheesh, too much. All right, next up, Shawn Thomas. Oh, boy. Is he guilty or not guilty of blowing a wrongful conviction free? He got free out of jail card. Is he guilty or not guilty, Attorney Weiss?
He's a dumbass, and he's guilty.
Exactly. He's guilty.
He's guilty. He wanted to go home. He wanted to go where it was comfort. So he's guilty.
All right, Attorney Carter.
He is guilty, but not just of the crime, but of spelling his name wrong. Just so we're clear here, all right? All the algorithms get this right. You name your kids, because, this is a big kid time in January. The name is SCAN, all right? Don't be doing this, Shawn, with a Q and an R. This brother had an R in the Shawn. That's not even phonetic, okay?
Shaurn. He's Shaurn.
That's what happened. Exactly. That's what happened to him. He got all confused.
Attorney Turner.
Yes, he's guilty. I think he might have to learn how to blow some other things though to survive prison.
He spent 24 years. He had practice. He all right.
Oh God! You know what? You attorneys are crazy. All right, I'm Alan. I'm the judge here at Celebrity Court, and I gotta be honest. I'm gonna find him guilty of multiple things, like guilty of blowing it, guilty for no reason. You have $4 million. Like, what are you? Just guilty for just being crazy. I mean, come on. Guilty. Last up, we hate to talk about it. We hate to, is Jay-Z guilty or not guilty, Attorney Turner?
I'm going to wait. He's not guilty. Yeah.
Okay, Attorney Weiss?
Tough one. I need to wait as well. I want to see more. Right now, I'm going to say not guilty. But I want to hear more.
All right, Attorney Carter.
I'm going to say guilty.
Ooh.
No, and by the way, only because I told you before, I'm tired of being the second best looking and most successful Shawn Carter in America. So go ahead and take Jay-Z down. I could be Shawn Carter. I'm tired of Googling my name.
So you can really live your best life with your Shawn Carter name.
I'm Googling, and he and his wife come up every time I Google me. That don't make no sense.
All right, I'm Al Reynolds, and I'm the judge here in Celebrity Court. And I'm going to wait. I'm going to find him not guilty. But what I will find him guilty of is issuing a ridiculous statement that will jeopardize my opinion on whether he is guilty or not. Period. That type of letter will change my mind, because you don't need to mudsling like that if you're innocent. Agreed? I think I agree. All right, everybody. The law isn't just for the courtroom. It's a part of our everyday lives. By understanding these cases, we can all learn how to navigate the legal system and protect ourselves. Thank you for joining us tonight. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button or that share button. Turn on your notifications and join us back here tomorrow night as we break down more cases here on Celebrity Court. Have a good night. Court is now adjourned.